All right, hey there, everybody. It's Rev Kev. Pray you're having an amazing evening tonight. Sorry, just finishing setting this up here. There we go. Always doing something different here on the channel. Always playing around with new technology, just goofing off, geeking out, and hopefully having a little bit of fun together. So, I'm just gonna turn this on my phone here so I can see this as well, that it's working. There we go. That looks like it's done. It's working great. We got that going. We got that going. We got that going. We got this going. I got water in my little cups here in my painting station. I'm in my new and improved geek corner here tonight, and so part of the reason of reorganizing and restructuring this area of our home was so that I could spend more time painting because love painting miniatures. It's been a bit of a challenge as I've gotten older. I've been miniature painting ever since I was in college, which was a long time ago. Which was a really long time ago. I'm just making sure something. Making sure that actually has audio and that people can hear me. So yeah, that's working good. Yeah, so I used to paint miniatures. Like I said, I think I started my last year of high school, first year of college, painting miniatures. So I've been doing it for a long time, like over 30 years. Have gone through different seasons when I've gotten really good and other seasons when I've done not so good. So what I'm going to be painting tonight, I'm just going to geek out, chat, hang out, see who shows up, and we'll just have some fun. So I am currently painting. These are miniatures from the game Descent, Legend of the Dark. I got that game for my birthday this year. Family picked that up for me in April. And I'm going to be painting tonight. I'm going to be painting this guy here. I'll put it up in this big camera here. So this is Cyrus. So he's kind of a mage in the game. He's got this phoenix, fiery phoenix kind of flying with him here. So this is who I'm painting today. So this is his character card for the game. And I'm just going to kind of keep this up over here so I can just kind of keep it nearby while I'm painting. So I've started painting them already. Sometimes the camera zooms in well, sometimes it doesn't. But what I've been using is I picked up these new, they're called speed paint. So I picked up the speed paint from Army Painter. And basically it's kind of like a one coat. So instead of having to do multiple layers, you do this, and the way it dries, the way the liquidy paint sinks into the crevices, that's what kind of gives you all of this level of detail here. I don't know if you can see it really well. I guess I'm going to need a better light source when I'm doing this, but you can see how this all just kind of sank into the Phoenix here. And so that's what I want to continue using, is these type of paints to see what it does. So what I'm going to be doing is I want to get a little bit of a finer brush than I normally use, and make sure I got a nice tip on that. Yeah, we lick our brushes. I know it's disgusting, but it's just a way to get a nice good tip. And I'm going to use this Zealot Yellow to do his cloak, to do his hood, to do kind of the main parts of yeah, his garment. And then we'll see how this goes on here. So let's do about 4 or 5 drops of that in here. And with this type of paint, I don't dilute it with any water or anything like that. You literally just kind of go on here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my glasses off. Now you're in for a real treat here. In for a real treat. I'm going to use my special goggles because, again, my old man eyes. Here you go. So now you can, so I can see a lot better with this when I look down at the miniature here. Oh, there he is. Now I can see him. And so now with this yellow paint, you just brush it on everywhere that you want it to go, and it automatically fills in all the crevices and actually looks absolutely fantastic already with just one coat of this stuff. This was actually some paints that I been thinking about for a while, and I've read some reviews about it on other YouTube channels, and so I figured, let's give it a shot. Let's see if this helps speed up my painting. Again, especially since I'm having problems with my eyes, you know, just natural older guy, 51 years old, having a little bit more difficulty with my eyesight. So, and I still want to enjoy this hobby. So by getting these really sexy goggles here off of eBay, it helps me to continue to do this. Now here, see if you can see how this looks here. Yeah, I need a brighter light so you can actually see it. But what it's doing is it's going into the crevices of the cloak here, and so you get kind of a darker yellow, almost an orange in the crevices, and then a brighter yellow in the raised areas. It really goes on really nicely. And the beauty of this is it's very forgiving, because let's say you missed and you hit something that you didn't want to hit. Well, then you just go and you repaint that part white, and then just go over again with the other color that you want to do. But it's a really great technique, especially for people who, you know, maybe you're new to miniature painting, or you're just intimidated by it, because these, I mean, these miniatures are not cheap. Like if you play some of the tabletop war games, like some of these are really pricey. And so when you slap down 30, 40 bucks for one miniature, it can be pretty intimidating to then put a whole bunch of paint on it. And if you're a little bit like I was at the beginning, you didn't want to paint them because you were afraid to ruin them because they were expensive. Whereas these paints, this is what I tell people all the time with miniature painting, it's not really about artistic talent. It's really about a steady hand and the techniques. So if you can develop a steady hand, which I have, my hand is quite steady, like it doesn't shake at all when I'm doing this. So if you can have a steady hand and learn these different techniques, you end up with some really nice miniatures that look great on the table with just one coat. Like this yellow, like just pops. I'm absolutely loving. This is the first time I've used this color paint on any miniature, and I am just loving how this is popping. You can go back over certain areas where you want to get a little bit more shading. Or the beauty is you just take the paint off of your brush and then go over some areas to remove paint, because maybe you put a little bit too much in a particular area, so you want to tone it down a little bit. You can do that as well. Wow, that is sweet. Looks so good. So where else is this cloak going here? It just kind of wraps around them like that. Bunches up around there like that. Cool. Well, that's that color. And then the other color I was thinking of doing may not be exactly right. Again, got a little bit of creative license here as an artist when we were doing this, right? What color did I want to try here? I got this pallid bone. I kind of want to do just like a beige, like a very light off-white beigeish color for his, like around his arms and his legs, kind of like his, you know, mage skirt. We'll see what this one does here. I'm not too sure if I'm going to like this, but if I don't like it, I can just let it dry and then paint it white, and then it'll be okay. Because then I can just redo it with something else. This is having a hard time dripping out here. Give it a good shake. Put a couple of drops. There we go. 3 or 4 drops in there. Same thing. I'm going to use the thinner brush. Normally with these type of paints, I've been using this thicker brush here. which is a nice thick brush, but the one I've been using is a lot, a lot smaller in its tip. Oh, let me just take this under here. Oh yeah, that looks really good. It's a little browner than I was expecting. I was kind of hoping it'd be a little whiter, but this actually looks really good. So I just go in all these areas here, do his shirt. And again, the beauty is you can just paint over everything. Doesn't matter if you hit an area that you didn't want to get, because you can just paint over it afterwards with the regular paint to cover it up. Do a sleeve. Take that into here. Again, just doing the whole skirt. And I got a little bit of orange on here from the Phoenix. So if I was a little bit more patient, what I should have done is paint that white, let it dry, and then do this color. So that way the red of the Phoenix doesn't show. Got some kind of eyelash or some kind of hair stuck on here. That's weird. Don't. There you go. That was Bizarro. Okay. Oh, duck go here. Okay. Something blocking this. So I've noticed with these army painters paints, tips get blocked a lot. I'm not too sure why these would. They're brand spanking new. Only had them, there we go, since April. Came out a little too fast now. And we take this on, we get this other leg over here. Just get the whole area. And a little bit of cloak hidden underneath here. We'll try to get under there and get that. Oops. Light turns off automatically. Thinks I've fallen asleep. We'll just put a little bit more there to highlight that sleeve a little bit more, and a little bit more here around his chest. And we'll drop a bit into these crevices here. And I really love this stand, this like Citadel stand to kind of hold the miniatures in place while you're working on them. Lets you just pivot the miniature in any direction you need to get underneath and around and up and down, and compared to trying to hold it steady in your hand. And then just like that, again, let me see if I can show you this here. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me clean this brush. Let me try this. Let me turn the flashlight on my cell phone and then put the light on him. Like that, a little bit too much. And a little too much. So you can see the shadows that automatically went into his cloak, like down all around by his legs. And now you can see kind of the details here as well in the flame. And that's just from using that one coat of paint. Again, hard to see it with these crappy little webcams, but it does look a lot. It looks really, really good. Really happy with that. Okay. Now the other thing I wanted to attempt is, again, first time I've used these colors. There was a color, Hardened Leather. So I want to try this for his skin. We'll see what that looks like. Again, if I'm not happy with it, I'll let it dry, paint it white, and do it again. Let's see. Again, these are really having a hard time coming out. You have to go online. The holes get blocked. It's a pretty diluted paint. There we go. Maybe it just needs to really be shaken up. Really good. Whoops, way too much on the brush here. So then if I do his flesh with this color, it goes in nicely, it sinks in around the eyes. Clean that off a little bit, take off some of the excess. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry. Then I'm going to do the same thing. There's like a gray-black color that I'm going to use to do his beard to make that stand out even more. And then I'll use regular paint to kind of do the highlight, the eyes, the eyebrows, things like that. And I'll do his hand hanging onto the staff. Again, it doesn't matter if I hit the staff, because that's just going to be painted over with regular paint afterwards. Yeah, that looks fantastic. I gotta do the legs. And again, I'm just gonna do the entire leg. Not worrying about hitting the sandals, because the sandals will be done with another color afterwards. Do his toes, top of his feet, and all of the gaps around the sandals. Back of his calf. And hit that just like that. And the other leg. Same thing, just all into the gaps of the sandals. Get his toes. Like I'm literally just hitting the entire foot. Like I don't care about covering up the entire shoe. And then we'll work our way into the back behind the calf here. And then some of the details inside the sandals, back of his heel. Missed that on the other leg, so we'll go back there and do that. We'll do a little bit more just to drip into the fingers. And a little bit more around the nose, around the cheekbones, just to give it a little bit something. So again, crappy webcam. Not sure you can see it at all, but like just with this technique on its own, you end up with some really good looking miniatures that that you can be proud of, to have that on the table, have that on your board game, and it will look great, and people will be blown away. They'll be like, "How did you do this? This looks incredible." Here's how that works. Okay, I'm just kind of looking on his character card to see if it had a picture of his weapon on here, which it doesn't. So what do I want to do? He's got this gauntlet. He's got this gauntlet. I'm kind of wondering what to do. He's got kind of like this big fist up in the air. So as he's summoning his phoenix. So what color do I want to do that gauntlet? Again, let's try some of these again. These colors here. I'm wondering if I do. Don't want to do the same color as this flesh, obviously. What's this one here? This is Crusader skin, so that's kind of normal skin, Caucasian skin color. Blood red, Hive Dweller purple. Don't want to do purple. It's the bone. The Hardened Leather. No. Can do it blue. Could do it blue or green. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do just with this gray. It's called Gravelord Gray. I'm gonna use that, and then I'm gonna highlight it, maybe with some silvers or some metallic colors to make it look like a metal gauntlet. Just 2 drops of that. Really don't need more. Yeah, this color I've used before. I used it when I painted. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen some pictures of kind of like these wolves. Almost look like dire wolves from like Dungeons and Dragons. I used this paint to paint them. They turned out, yeah, just fantastic with this gray all in their fur coat of these wolves. This really makes it look like an iron fist. And I mean, it's probably actually just a leather gauntlet or something that he's wearing, but I just want it to look a little bit different than everything else. So again, you get this power fist there. Cool. And then now for his staff, I'm going to use some of the regular paints that I got here. So again, it's all Army Painter war paints. And the way I use these is I've got this special palette. I've got it's called a wet palette. So it's a piece of paper in here. There's a sponge underneath it that's damp. So it really prolongs the life of the paint and helps with mixing and preserving paint. And it's kind of still a new technique. See, everything is blocked up. Don't know what this is. Oh, that's the wrong nail. That's why it's not working. Got these tiny little nails here. Just clean that out. Now it comes out great. And then with this, I do put just a little, damp the brush and just mix it with the water. Really helps just to dilute it, makes it nice and smooth. And you get a nice smooth coat on your miniature here. And that way you don't lose any of the details that are on there getting all full of clumpy paint. And again, it all comes down to just a steady hand. The technique, you'll learn the techniques, watch some YouTube videos, buy these specialty paints, get these brushes, and then just practice, practice, practice. And in no time flat, you will have amazing, amazing looking miniatures for your games. gonna have to come back to this staff because there's some areas that the brown skin is darker than the color of the staff. So, but when I get to do the what's called a wash, it's another type of paint that's even more watered down, and I use that to give everything a good dirty kind of used feel to everything. And I think I might use the same color. Do I want to use the same color? No, I'm not going to use the same color for his belt. The belt is going to be a nice bright yellow, just to mix it up. The guy's a wizard. I want him to look wizardly. So we'll take this demonic yellow. Again, give it a good shake, see if it actually... I did have some yellow on my palette here already, but it's actually been months since I've painted, so even though I've got a wet palette here, these have dried out by now. It's been a long time since I've painted. Again, just mix some water into that, and then do a nice bright yellow belt. I'm gonna do this. He's got an amulet around his neck as well that I probably should do the same color as this, but it looks like it's still filled with the speed paint, which is still very wet, so I won't be able to do that yet. Ooh, that's a tricky spot. How to get underneath his dagger. See, again, this is where that steady hand comes in. Just a dab it, little dab of paint there, dab of paint here. See that? Yeah, it's still wet, so don't do that around there. Try to get the top of the belt a little bit, give it a nicer, smoother line here. Go there. Perfect. That's looking really good. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I think I still have, back in this palette, I still have some of that black paint that I used for the gauntlet. So let's, that's looking pretty dry. So let's do his beard. Okay, way too thick, way too much paint on the brush here. Okay, a little bit more than that. So this is making it look like he's got like a bit of a spotchy beard. He doesn't grow a very thick beard. Kind of like me. Because you see the brown underneath it, so. Yeah, I'm not very happy with that. I'm going to hold off on doing that because I don't like it. Okay. Gauntlet is still that. And you know what? I'm going to use the yellow as well. There's a little sash underneath here that's holding his dagger in place. I'm going to do that in the bright yellow as well. And again, if I hit the dagger, quite all right, because that last as kind of a highlight. Get underneath the belt here a little bit, little details under there. I'll try to hit those. Okay, that looks good. And so while I've got this yellow as well, I'm going to dilute it a little bit more. And I'm going to just lightly highlight certain parts of the Phoenix because I want it to look a little more like it's like hot fire. Like some areas are like white hot and yellow hot, just to kind of break up the red a little bit. And it's quite watered down, so the way when it dries, it'll just give it a nice kind of yellow tint on a number of areas of the flames. And if ever you get too much paint in a part of the miniature, you just take your paper towel and just lightly tap it, and it just absorbs all of the watered down paint off of the miniature while still keeping some of the color on there. Just the tip of the wing, edge of the wings here, top of the head. Big areas of fire. And there's like this fireball down here at the bottom as well. Just highlight that a little bit with some yellow. And this is kind of like just like little detail work. If you don't do this, doesn't matter. Your miniature will look great with just the base color of this speed paint. But this is just me being a little bit more, artsy. Gotta have something for 30 years of experience. We'll just kind of do that. There we go. Hopefully this shows up. I kind of wonder sometimes. Go on here, your channel. Yeah, it's on there. Okay. Very nice. If you hear screaming in the background, that's my 21-year-old son playing video games with his buddies. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Okay. Let's see. When I was testing this out before I was live streaming, it actually worked really, really good, where you could see it really well. That the autofocus would eventually catch it, but just doesn't seem to want to do it this time. Because, whoops. Yeah, doesn't want to catch it. Whereas this camera here doesn't really catch it as well either. Just wants to focus on the stormtrooper and the lights on the ceiling. So there we go. Okay, so this is coming along really, really good. Really liking this. Oh, need a break from these things here. So let me just turn the light off on that. Let me see if this will work. If I grab these guys. So this is from the same game here. These are kind of these wolves that came with the game as well. And so I, again, used the same technique that I'm doing with this character here, Cyrus. I just used kind of the Greyhound, Gravelord Grey from Army Painter Speed Paint, and just did literally one coat of the gray. And let's see, can you, yeah, you're not going to see it in the details. Um, but it just gave a really nice coat to, yeah, make it look like these nasty devil wolves that are coming after the player characters. And then just did the same thing with a brown color. And then just did some highlights. There's some details of like a skull on the base. There's that little white dot there that you can see. And then just did a nice gray finish around the walls. And then again, little details that you can't see. He's got like red eyes with like these, you know, bright yellow pupils. Just again to make them look really mean and nasty. So it makes them look really, really good. So this guy here, I don't like the gauntlet at all. This color, like the black, it probably should be more of a leather color with a couple of metallic highlights. So I think I'm gonna redo that because I'm just not overly happy with it. And what else do I want to do here? I'm gonna have to do the base at some point. But then I also got the little dagger detail to do. It looks like a wooden dagger. It doesn't look like it's metallic. It looks like it's carved wood. And then the details in his eyes and teeth and tongue, I'll do those after. But I pretty much do the little facial details last. But I'm very happy with how this yellow came out on the cloak. Again, you can see it kind of down here like this. You can see all the details that show up in the cloak like that. And then the same thing in the kind of the pants around his legs. If I put a white background here on it, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. So you can see kind of the details of where there's the folds in the cloak. The paint just sunk down into those areas and does the highlighting for you. So that's why it's called speed paint. One coat and you're done. Now what I like to do is I take this paint here, which is called, this is Citadel Paint. This is Null Oil. Give this a good shake. And then I use this to just dirty stuff up. Like I'll take this paint here and where's the paintbrush that I was using? Oh, over here. And I'll, again, lick our brushes because that's how you get a nice tip. And don't water this down or anything. And I just put a bunch of it on the brush. And I need my blind man glasses again. Just hit myself in the hand with the paint. There we go. And then I just do the staff. And then it just makes like a black highlight. Kind of like dirty black, run down. It's just a way to make the miniature pop again, just gives you, so it would basically give you your color, so your main color here, so this was like this light brown, and then instead of shading it with a similar tone, like in the yellow, it's black, so it just puts a dark, shadowy tone to everything. So again, not gonna be able to see the full details of that, but up close like this, that looks great. And then I'm actually going to do that as well with this bright yellow belt, just to go inside it. Not a lot of paint, I just want a little bit of paint in there. Take some paint off of the brush, just to highlight the details, because basically the belt here looks like a ring with a couple of like hooks in there. So that's literally what I want to highlight. I just want to highlight the ring, highlight the little hooks that are there with this Null Oil paint to kind of make that belt absolutely pop. That's not quite dry yet. And the beard, no, that's not quite dry yet either. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit longer. Okay, I'll take that off. Normally what I should be doing is I actually have two things of paint. Not paint, water, 2 cups of water. One is for washing the brushes so it gets colored. and the other one stays clear, and I use it to dilute paint. And I forgot to do that tonight, so I've been using both for both. So I'm gonna have to change the water eventually because it's just not gonna look good. It's gonna end up tinting the paint eventually because the water will get too dirty. Okay, so when we get that going, again, not happy with that. Not happy with that. The ground is kind of like a marble, like just like a stone, cobblestone kind of ground. So that's cool. Now what I want to do is I want to do the sandals. So I'd like the sandals to be a similar color to his cloak that we've done. So I think I'm not going to use the same color as his staff because that's just a little bit too much. But I've got a paint here called, you know what? I think I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to use this one for the gauntlet as well. So the shoes and the gauntlet are going to be this color. So they'll kind of combine a little bit better that way. But this was actually a paint line that came out probably by Army Builder because it's the exact same bottles. But it was paint specifically for Star Wars Legion. And this was, I think, was the base kit that I got. And so this paint here is called Sandcrawler Rust. Hey, there we go, Sandcrawler Rust. So we're going to use that for the gauntlet and for the sandals. So that comes out. Put that back over there in the stand. We'll use this one over here because it's a little cleaner. Just a little drop of water in there to dilute this paint a little bit better. And just get it nice and thin on the brush here. And again, one of the things that I do sometimes, I'll notice, like, I got way too much paint on here. I literally just paint some of it off because I don't want it to completely absorb off using a paper towel. So I just make a nice line on my paintbrush by painting on my thumb. Now the trick when you do that is now making sure you don't lean the miniature against your thumb. Because if you do that, you're going to end up with paint from your thumb on the miniature. So you want to avoid that. And again, I'm just literally using the highlighted area of the miniature to take the paint. So again, this isn't about, you don't need to be a great artist to do this. I mean, it helps if you have a little bit of understanding about color, but most of these games come with character cards and resources that you can see which colors, because if you can't tell what color goes well with, if you don't have that skill set, just do it. Find a paint that looks close to the card, and you're going to be good. But it's the miniature paints itself. Like if you have watered down paint, it goes into the crevices. If you have just a little bit of paint on your brush, it just highlights the raised area of your miniature. So this is why I tell people all the time when they go, oh, I can never do this, I can never do this. It's a game of patience. It's a game of a steady hand. And it's a game of just, again, learn the techniques, and you can do this. Like this is what I find sometimes, like so often I'll go on like social media and I'm part of different groups where people paint miniatures, and you can tell people are rushed, right? Because they just want to play the game, they just want to paint the miniature, so they're just rushed, and it shows because you can see the paint is way too thick. You didn't learn the proper techniques for the type of miniature that you're painting, and it's really not, again, in my opinion, not really an issue of artistic talent. It really just came down to you didn't learn the technique and you were in a hurry. So this is why, for me, painting miniatures like this, why I find it so relaxing, is I tend to be someone who is always in a hurry. I don't relax well naturally. Not my default to relax. I'm kind of a go, 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 go kind of guy. whether it's at church or just life in general. And so sitting down on a Tuesday night with a paintbrush and some miniatures forces me to slow down. And a little part of me wants to fight it and rebel against it. But then once I get into the groove, then it's like, oh yeah, this feels really good. It's nice and relaxing. I'm geeking out, kind of looking at these characters and going, okay, this guy's going to be awesome once he's all painted, and getting him on the table. It's like, wow, I wonder what this Phoenix does in the game. I can't wait to read the rules about that. So I am noticing that this Sandcrawler rust isn't covering over where I did the flesh tone, where the flesh hit the flesh hit the sandal. It's not covering it as well as I thought it would, probably because it's just a lighter shade of brown. So I might have to completely redo these sandals. I might have to paint them, the details, white and then paint them again. Yeah, but I'll wait till it dries and I'll try a second coat on it before I make that kind of a decision. But it looks like that's what I'm going to have to do. Again, just to make this Sandcrawler rust color pop a lot nicer. Yeah, this top of the foot part that I did, it's not coming out there at all. It just looks exactly like the same color as the flesh. Yeah, so I'll have to redo that. Well, that's okay. And then I wonder if, again, if I can just take this color and do this directly. Oop, a little too thick. Directly over the gauntlet. Oh wow, this is actually making it look like a rusted metal gauntlet. Ooh, okay. I like this. This looks a lot better, and the beauty of it is the rust color goes nice with the orange cloak. So it helps bring that nice together. So I'm just literally kind of doing it kind of splotchy so that it's not even. So it does look more like a rusted metal gauntlet. Yeah, I like that a lot. See, that's the thing with art. You just got to experiment with it, and sometimes you end up with some things that you really like. That looks fantastic. Yeah, like I said, it just makes a nice darker version of the orange. Yeah, let me see if this will show here when I do this. It doesn't want to show, does it? And there you can see the details in the cloak a lot better this way. Yeah, anyways. Okay, so that's that, that's that. Need to do, it's a little bit of a spot I realized I missed on his arm. The lighter color, which one was the lighter one? I think it was this one, hopefully. Yeah. Just to get into those crevices there, to highlight those details a little bit better. Also in underneath this belt, missed under there as well. So again, this is why I said it's a game of patience. You missed a spot, go back. Missed a spot, go back. Not happy with the spot, you go back. It's not a big, there's no rush. You just do it at your pace. And you make it look your own. Yeah, I really, really like that a lot. The flesh on his arm and the flesh on his face turned out really, really good. Really happy with that. But I'm really happy with that. The arm, the fireball down here, that looks really, really good. And oh, you know what I should have done? If I would have brought the game over, there's all the cards for all the weapons, and then I could have actually seen what colors some of these weapons are. And then could do his dagger the color that it actually is in the game. But, it's a dagger. I'm going to do it metallic. So we got metallic paints up here. Metallic. We got gunmetal. We got plate mail metal. And we got shining silver. So let's do a nice silver dagger. So he's hunting my wolves, right? So he's hunting werewolves. So he needs a silver dagger. Silver dagger, silver bullet, silver dagger. There we go. Silver bullet. Just a little tiny drop of that. Yes, I know. It's disgusting. My wife, every time she sees me doing this, she'll say, "You licking your brush?" Yes, I'm licking the brush. It's how you make it pointy. A nice pointy tip. It's disgusting. I know, but it's the price you pay for fine art. And honestly, I don't even know where I learned that. I must have saw it on a video somewhere or some teaching painting tutorial video or something. There, nice silver dagger there. And then once that gauntlet dries, there's kind of some details in there I'm going to do with that silver color as well. Just to again, make the gauntlet look like it's got some metallic details on there. That'll be really cool. Okay, what do we got here? That's looking pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. I'm going to try for the next time I stream painting like this. I'm going to get a lot more light. It's like bright enough down here for me to paint, but it's just not bright enough for you guys to be able to see the details with these webcams. So I'll get more light down here, so that should help highlight the miniature a lot more for you to be able to see them. Just doing more yellow highlights just to make it pop a little bit more. Looks really cool. Little part of me would love to be able to highlight each of these little, there's like literally the little fire feathers underneath the wings here that look really cool. Part of me would like to just highlight each one at a time, but that if I do that, I'll wreck it. And then that'll drive me nuts because I was like, it was looking so good, you ruined it. And I'd have to start it over. Do a few more fire details up here at the top of the wings. More little details in the fireball. There. Looking good, looking good. Time is it? It's almost 8:30. Streaming for about an hour now. Again, just kind of getting my painting muscles back on because it's been. Well, I painted these wolves a couple when I first got the game in April, and I got these paints in April. That was like did those, and then really before that, it's been a long time since I've been painting. So it's kind of just getting back into it. So just something I wanted to do here from time to time here on the Geek Corner is just hang out with you guys and do some painting and hopefully encourage you in your hobby time as well. And I just did. I wonder if I can show you this. Maybe just let's just have some fun here. I'll turn on these lights here, and I'll turn on this light here. And I'm gonna literally bear with me for a second. I'm gonna take this webcam. And I'm going to show you now. This is kind of my new Geek Corner setup. So here's what I've done is I've got these new display stands. Found them on Amazon. Kind of these just plastic transparent stands. And putting my painted miniatures on here. So these are my Star Wars Legion miniatures here. So I got some Rebels, a couple of units of Stormtroopers. And then over here, we got some battle droids from episode 1. This one down here is honestly one of my favorite miniatures ever. It's old Captain Rex. This was a friend of mine 3D printed that for me. Got some stat vehicles back here. We got some more Rebel troopers. And then these ones were, man, I love these miniatures. I really want to collect a clone army because they were, white is brutal to paint. Brutal to paint. But man, again, just be patient. It took probably about 4 or 5 coats to make them look really good. But I'm just thrilled with how those clone troopers turned out. And then up on the second shelf here is where I got my Marvel Crisis Protocol figures. So again, got them on a bunch of different stands, a bunch of different levels there. And Spider-Man versus Venom, and Groot and Rocket Raccoon, and started collecting the X-Men. And so yeah, really happy with those, and just really happy in general with this new Geek Corner setup. So I'm going to be doing some more videos from this. Got to get a couple more lights here. So these are my unpainted miniatures. So again, this is all my Star Wars Legion section up here. Yeah, I have a lot. And what's crazy is I've traded and sold most of all my other miniature games, but just kept Star Wars Legion. And up here now on this shelf is Marvel Crisis Protocol. So a lot of Marvel miniatures up here as well that I'll get to and start painting. Star Wars role-playing game setup. DDPY water bottle. Baby Yoda. Mickey Mouse. My Expanded Universe collection here, and now my Dragonlance collection. So that's kind of what I've been doing here on my Geek Corner channel. So sorry for making you nauseous by moving the camera around like this like crazy, but just thought I'd give you a little tour there of my new and improved Geek Corner. So very happy with that. So I think with that said, I'm actually going to sign off now. Thank you for popping by. Thank you for being part of the community here. It really means the world to me. And look forward to chatting with more of you soon. As I've shared before in other videos, all the proceeds from my YouTube channel for June and July are going to be donated to Compassion Canada with a project that we are doing to help moms and babies. So it's a specific program that helps deal with child mortality in Guatemala and to help support young moms, single moms, young families there in that part of the world. So, you know, all the YouTube ad revenues, super chats, super stickers, the thank you buttons on my videos all of that money goes to support a great cause for June and July. So if you feel so led, please help out that way, any way that you can. So until the next video, I'm just going to tune out now. I'm going to keep painting, but I'm going to stop streaming for a bit, and look forward to seeing you all again real soon. All right, God bless you, everybody.